happy to be back, Zordon. Wow.
I'm
Another
super
one.
happy to be back.
Well, the first big exciting thing is the benchmark trailer. We don't have the benchmark yet, which is a bummer. Not till I think Sunday. We got to see some things.
Okay. I was expecting when it came on, I thought it was going to be just the regular DT trailer, and then up comes this derpy looking Highlander, and I'm like, wait, this isn't my Meteor. This isn't Meteor. This is Meteor at home.
Yeah, it looked weird, right? And I think, I don't know if
I think it's the lighting.
It might be the lighting. I think it's because we've seen him the same for so long, and now all of a sudden it's like this uncanny valley thing.
Yeah, it might be.
I don't know. I feel like the only character, like in-game character model I've seen that I didn't like was him. Everything else looks pretty good.
Really?
Yeah. Is there? Well, we didn't see any other. We saw the lion lady, whatever her name is. I forget.
I literally just said it. Wook Lamont.
Something like that. Yeah. But that's the only one we see. Everything else looks pretty okay. I wasn't really offended by anything.
I don't think that's actually Meteor, though. I think that's meant to be player character, because you do see Meteor at the end.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to dig back into that. But it did look different. Something looked off, right?
Yeah. But even in the graphical bits, it was a little too bright sometimes, but that's because of all of the different light sources.
Yeah, I think a lot of it just looked different. I think once we actually get our hands on the benchmark and we're able to create characters, because that's my favorite thing. We get to see what new updates are in there. Also, just seeing it on YouTube, or in a stream, you can't really tell everything. But and they have to throw so many light sources in there and like animations, because the point is testing your PC to see if it can play it. So yeah, I mean, I liked the music was very, very good. That was probably my favorite part of it. Yeah. I liked it a lot. I guess that might be the main dungeon battle theme.
I think so. I don't think it's the boss theme.
I think the battle theme, like the regular, like overworld battle theme when you run into a monster, is the song they used for the Viper animation showcase. I think. I could be wrong, but it felt like a regular battle theme. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was almost reminiscent of Endwalker's regular battle theme, just a little bit more jungly. Not much else I could really pull out of the benchmark trailer. Like no big hints or anything. Nothing crazy. I loved the giant race and the little.
Oh yeah, the eyes look really good.
The eyes do look really good.
Star Wars looking.
Seeing all the beast tribes around was pretty cool. It was mostly beast tribes, and then the little, like, there's the giant tribe and then the little Tobli tribe from like Final Fantasy X-2. Those little guys. That's kind of fun. And it's like a blink and you miss it. You can see a player character walk by in the Tobli gear, which is pretty cool.
I did catch that.
So we know we can get the gear, which of course we could, but not all beast tribes have like a gear set. So only a few of them do. I like getting the mounts for the tribes, but if there's a gear set, I'm always going towards that first because they're usually pretty unique.
Which one's your favorite?
My favorite gear set is the Nath gear set because it looks so weird.
Okay.
It's like this weird, like exoskeleton samurai looking. It's weird. One of my favorite sets, and I spent a long time grinding that out kind of recently. So like well past 3.0 when it came out, but I really like that one. The turtle guys from Stormblood, they have a set that's pretty cool.
Yes. I think that one I really liked.
What other ones have it?
I haven't gone past. I'm still working on ARR tribes.
You're doing them in order?
I'm doing them in order. Yeah, and so ARR's kind of been a bit of a slug.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because there's so many in A Realm Reborn, and I guess I don't even know if they're faster to do. I've never really done the math. There is different levels. I forget what the max level is, like blood something, like
Bloodsworn.
Bloodsworn, yeah.
ARR doesn't have that.
It's like, I think Sylph ends at like recognized or something, and then you're done.
Yeah, it's weird. But I noticed that Ixal locked for a bit, and then I had to do another quest, and then, or another tribe, and it
Oh, gave you
opened
more.
up again.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm slowly doing those. I'm probably like maybe halfway on all the Aromaborn ones, but the only ones I completed was Sylph so far. And that's because I wanted the mount. That's the mount I wanted most. Because it sneezes, and that's that's why I liked it. And then I usually just go after whatever mount I want the most at the time.
You know what I want for glam? And someone in chat, Frizz had mentioned this the other day, is I wish glam had at least one glam slot per job. That's it. At least, including crafters and gatherers. So you have the ability to have a different outfit per job that you have.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. But then the issue is, like, that would be great. But still the issue is, so say if you have the crafted gear, best in slot for your crafter, and, materia melded, like all that, and you use that for all of your jobs. Every time you change your job, you have to re-glam because all your crafters use the same gear. It's ridiculous. It's an issue.
That's true.
It's so annoying. And I think, I mean, if you're a crafter, there's no, like the only way to be a crafter is to have all jobs leveled up. Like it just doesn't make sense not to. So I think that's a big miss, like not being able to just have different outfits for every crafter. You have to kind of have the same outfit for every crafter, which is, or you're just blowing through glamour prisms every single time you change jobs. But that was a weird tangent, but I don't think they'll ever fix it because that's a weird thing to complain about. But because they all use the same gear attributes, you might as well just have one set for all of them. So I don't know, not really something that a lot of people probably care about.
I feel like the right people care about it.
Yeah, if they didn't make the job-specific armor so good, like even the job-specific armor for the crafters coming in Dawntrail looks so good, but you can't, or at least make it to where, I don't know. I don't even know what I want. I don't know what I want. I just want it to be easier.
Just do it, Yoshi P.
Just do it. I don't know what I want. Just make it happen. Well, anything else out of the benchmark trailer that is worth talking about? Are you worried about specs?
No, I'm just I'm more worried about whether my character looks good.
I know, right? Ever since I saw that first frame of the benchmark, I'm like, wait a minute, what's my character going to look like? Something looks off. So
I mean, that the last shot though, after he limit breaks, I thought it would be so cool if there was a cinematic shot of your limit break. Like when you limit break and you get a screenshot of it every time you do, like, you know what I mean? I think that would be really cool. He looks good there.
That'd be doable, I think. I think the limit break system is not as good as it could be because all the limit break animations are really cool, but not a lot of them are viable. I still think that the one thing I want most is at the end of an instance when we all do the little like da 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 da,
Yeah.
Everyone, you should be able to unlock animations for that. I think that would be.
Oh, I would like that.
So incredible.
You could choose your emote.
Maybe an emote, but that'd be fine. But I think they should just add a totally additional thing, and they can add them in the Mog store, whatever. They can make some money off of it, along with like the emotes and the hairstyles. Add victory poses, like that'd be so cool.
I agree. Yeah.
I think the reason why I want that is my character's so boring. Hume females do something really cute. They do like this little dance thing, which is really cute. I don't really pay attention because I'm just looking at my character. They're front and center, so I usually only see my character. But my character just puts his hand on his hip and then just like nods. And it's like, what? That's all he does? That's it? He wiggles his ears. And it's like, why can't he like do something cute or do something fun?
Right.
I've seen him do that over the course of 11 years. It's starting to
that's fair.
get a
that's
little
fair,
boring,
Uh-huh.
But again, I think that's something very easily done and they won't do it. But who am I?
Maybe one day.
Maybe one day. So the biggest thing for me, and I've been really excited about this for the entirety of it being announced, the foliage update.
Oh my gosh. I was freaking out. That's mainly what the live letter was about.
Yeah.
Was just the graphical update.
Graphical update and just the fact, and it's better than I had imagined. I mean, I knew that they're going to add layers and make it look more full, but the fact that it moves when you run through it.
The flowers. That was the first thing I noticed. That, and you'll notice that there's more grass.
Yeah.
The flowers are actually smaller as well. The tiles are also smaller in the newer version, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, well, I think what they had to do in the past is kind of make this weird, mushy texture to cover everything. So they had to make things look bigger. Now it's just a lot more detailed. The shadows look crazy. Shadows look really, really good.
Did you see the reflective?
The reflective, yeah, like with the weather animations.
Yeah, with the rain.
I think we only saw rain in the videos, but it makes me really interested to see other weather animations. There's something like even playing on Ultra, right? You have a great PC, you're playing on Ultra right now. Shadows look really bad in the game. When you're in like the Black Shroud, the shadows just look, they move really slow. They're pixelated and I get it, but it just doesn't look that good. And seeing the updated shadows like move naturally was really, really cool. Because even old areas, I think they're so gorgeous, but I think their vision for them hasn't been realized yet until now. So I'm really excited about that. The mount animation was pretty cool. I never even thought I wanted that until they showed it.
I didn't see the difference initially with the turns, but you don't see it at all in what we have right now. And I was like, wait, I'm not seeing it because it just doesn't exist. I thought it was really cool.
I think ever since we got Dragonflight in the World of Warcraft, that's like what really kind of, I mean, I think Guild Wars 2 had really good flight animations, and their flying mounts like were a big deal. But at least for me, I didn't really notice I needed that until I started playing Dragonflight on World of Warcraft. And I'm like, oh, okay, I wish mounts were like this in every game. And yeah, we're not getting the whole flight system, but just the animations, like it just makes it's funny because it makes it more realistic, right? But I'm also still flying on top of a magical alligator that doesn't have wings. So I don't really know if it's like necessary.
I'd be curious to see what it looks like for other mounts.
Yeah, because I mean, the one with wings makes sense, right? But what happens when it is the alligator, or when it is
when it's the little, what do you call it? Awesome mount or something?
Yeah.
Like, is there really a difference?
And I like that they actually included those in the benchmark trailer, like the goofy mounts, because that's like such a big part of 14's charm is it doesn't take itself too seriously all the time. It's great storytelling, but when you see stuff like that, you're like, oh yeah, okay, we're home. This is what it's supposed to be.
This is Final Fantasy.
Yeah, yeah. They were going over some of the player character updates, and they did look really good. I think hair is what looks the best.
For me, it's the eyes.
Eyes look really good. Yeah, eyes look great.
NPC eyes, just the reflection. The light.
I think when they were showing the stills at like the pictures they were showing at FanFest, it looked better. Maybe it'll look better when we're actually playing it. But I think I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it. It is definitely an improvement. The lighting is a huge improvement. The shadows, the foliage. I think the player characters was the thing I was worried least about. And I think the skin textures being a little bit better, especially for more of the varied skin tones. I think those look way better than they did. They looked so plastic in what we have now.
Yes.
So I think that's really exciting. And
I feel like the clothing looks really good. You can tell what type of clothing it is, if it's leather, if it's...
One of the trippiest things that they showed was it was a Lalafell, and there was metal armor on the left on like the patch we're on right now. Then I was showing the 7.0 version. And the light reflection was just so interesting. Like you can see it's not just regular reflection. It's like literally reflecting the area you're in. And that blows my mind. I always judge it when I'm playing a video game for the first time, like a new video game, and you walk up to a mirror and it's never a reflection. Never.
It's never.
They never do it. And it's like, you cowards, just make this mirror work. I don't know how you make it work, but make it work.
The only time they make it reflective is that if the story has something to do with the mirrors. I haven't played Rebirth. I'm trying to manifest Rebirth right now, but I haven't played Rebirth. Remake did not have reflective mirrors. Does Rebirth have reflective mirrors?
I think it doesn't, because I remember almost every game I play, I'll seek out a mirror, because that's like the litmus test. Did you do it? Did you finally do it? Right. Ironically, Persona 3 kind of did, which was impressive.
Yeah, no, I'm playing that right now.
It's not a great reflection, but it's something, right?
It's there. It's at least it's not a pan. Like like in Remake, it just looks like someone stuck a pan onto the wall. And I'm like, okay, why?
So I'm pretty sure that I did see a mirror and it did not have a reflection. Rebirth is a pretty game still. It's just, and it's funny because it's got so much money behind it. So it must be something really difficult, right? If these giant companies can't do it. I know you haven't played Rebirth, but let's talk about the whole ending sequence of Rebirth. So what happens at the end? I'm joking. I'm not going to go over the end of Rebirth.
My brain was like loading and like error.
I still think Final Fantasy 16 is a much prettier game. Right. And it's probably because it's not as big, but 16 looked very good. I don't remember any mirrors in 16, but if any Final Fantasy has reflective mirrors, it might be 16. But Rebirth is still very pretty and it has so much power behind it, but it still didn't do the mirrors. So the fact that Yoshi P has reflections on armor like blows my mind.
And also on when it's raining on the floor. That blew my mind. I was like, you didn't need to. This was something that no one asked for, but okay.
It looks really, really good. I was very, very surprised because they were talking about it. They've been talking about it for months at all the fan fests and we only saw still pictures, right? So I was like, I'll believe it when I see it. And then seeing it in real time, I'm like, oh, dang, okay. It's not like a perfect reflection, of course, but it just kind of gives us a little bit more immersion, which is cool with a game like that. We want that immersion. We're so connected to our characters. So little stuff like that, I love. I think that's so cool. I have on my notes here talking about the eyes. We talked about the eyes already, which look so much better.
They look so much more alive. Even on NPCs, I wasn't expecting them to really delve into NPCs. I was thinking the topography of the land and the buildings. I would really love to see what Rods and Han is going to look like.
I know.
The colors.
That's one of my favorite places still. It's still gorgeous right now. So I'm just curious what it looks like with more lighting and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So, all the improvements to the blacklisting, right? That's kind of interesting.
We've kind of been talking about that for years, trying to find a way out of awkward situations. So, yeah, not seeing them anymore.
Because what people will do is they'll still try and find you and pester you. And
yeah, they'll still stalk you.
I think it's great for content creators as well. Not that I have a bunch of people that are trying to find me in game, but for other people, right? That's fantastic. And I think the muting thing is awesome. And we're going to get chat bubbles soon, right? Yoshi P said we're going to get chat bubbles soon. And I think this is kind of segueing into that, because if they were to do this after the chat bubbles, it would have been hell. It would have been really bad.
Oh, fair.
So I think this is like step one of introducing chat bubbles, because the blacklist system wasn't awful. It wasn't bad. But as soon as you add chat bubbles, it can get really bad. So especially if you're a streamer, because we all cover the chat usually with our cams, right? So as soon as there's chat bubbles, you're like, wait a minute, what do we do here? My theory is that there's going to be a streamer option where you can turn off, or just an option in general to turn off chat bubbles.
To change it. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, they would have to.
They would have to, yeah. Because people can just run up to the front of your screen and say something awful, which is so annoying, because I'm very excited for chat bubbles, but I pretty much only play 14 when I'm streaming usually, so it's like
same.
That make me sad. More levels of immersion, and I think that's great, because chat bubbles are in, gosh, maybe not every MMO, but they're in a lot of them, right?
A lot of
them, and not 14.
Sure. I thought it was interesting that during, Yoshi P slides, or the live letter slides, whenever they were showing the blacklisting, it was in chat bubbles.
I thought that was interesting too.
Right? And so I was like, oh, okay, they're prepping for it, but they haven't announced it.
Chat bubbles soon. Chat bubbles and new victory poses, please. The way they were talking about rewards, when did we hear about that? Because did we talk about, I don't even remember what we talked about in the last episode. And then there was something.
That just reminded me of, because we did talk about Solution 9 last time. Did you see the water?
Did they say that was a dungeon? Did they confirm? Because it looked crazy. It looked so good.
It looked so good. And my brain was like, it has to be Solution 9. The colors?
Yeah, well, all we saw was like a bridge, maybe like a bridge leading into Solution 9 or something. But Solution 9, there's no water around there. Is there?
Or is there?
There was a portion that they showed something for a brief moment where it was like a plateau, but it was above clouds, which is really cool.
Is it a ship?
I don't know. My first theory at the first fan fest was that on one of the maps there's going to be a giant ship, but I don't know. It's kind of been squandered since. But seeing that like mountain area above the clouds was really cool, and then that water portion was really interesting. I've never been so intrigued. I was very intrigued with Endwalker, but it felt so. I mean, given that they threw some surprises, right? Elpis was like the surprise of the century for me, at least in video games. Like that was the coolest thing ever. Everything else, though, I kind of expected. No, that's a lie. I didn't expect to go to the edge of the universe either.
Did you also expect to fight Zodiark?
Yeah.
the first trial?
Yeah, they did a really good job with that. Aside from those 2 areas, which is what, 2 of 6? How much do we get? We get 6 areas every time?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only one that was really wowing me was Labyrinthos was cool, but it wasn't like, oh my goodness, it was just a pretty place, was the last 2 areas, Elpis and Ultima Thule. And so I'm hoping that these areas, like everything's really varied. I really like
I agree,
the aesthetic. The only one I'm not super excited about is the jungle area. I mean, not that I think it's gonna be ugly, but that's like the least wowed I am by like the concept art. The cowboy looking area, I think it looks awesome.
Oh, we're the opposite.
Really? You don't think it looks good?
That's not my aesthetic. I really like jungle. My aesthetic's not cowboy.
I do love jungle, but I think they did show some really cool different areas in the jungle area. Like there's like that really like dead looking forest area, and then like all the lush stuff. I just hope they're very like varied areas in each place, you know, where it like changes. I love that. I think World of Warcraft does that really well. I always bring World of Warcraft up. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine. I mean, that's what you know.
Yeah, Warcraft does a really good job of all of a sudden you're like in this new biome, but it's in the same area. 14 hasn't really done that yet. You know, you think of, there's not a huge, aside from getting ether currents, there's not a huge reason to explore everything. And I think there should be. I think they have the bad habit of making each location one biome and or just one very specific aesthetic, when they have the opportunity to make these places a little bit varied. And like, I think of the areas in like Xenoblade Chronicles, like you never know what you're going to find.
Yeah.
They're just so good at making one area so interesting. They did introduce verticality with Heaven's Ward, and we've always had verticality since.
I do not want any more Cloud.
That's a bad one. Cloud Top is rough.
No more. The fact that there's a beast tribe there, I know I've maxed it, but never again.
That's too much verticality. That and Helix are both pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I don't think we've had a good use of verticality. Maybe the zones in like the Alamegan zones, I think they did a good job with making them pretty varied.
Oh, I could see that, yeah.
Man, I wish they had some kind of system where exploring was rewarded. The lookout points is cool. I brought this up in the last episode, but we as players are so like, we want to see something tangible. Like I love the treasure map system. I think it's awesome. I don't think it needs to change, but if they also had random spawn points for treasure chests, that'd be really cool. Every other MMO does it. WoW does it. Even Final Fantasy 11 did it, to where you can, you know, find this cave and there's a chance that there's a treasure chest there, you know, and you're like, ooh, cool, a little treasure chest. It's just not fun to explore. And it's so beautiful. It's such a beautiful game. But there's just, once you get the ether currents, it's just, you hop on your flying mount and just fly straight to where you need to go.
To where yeah.
They do a decent job with it to where you can't just immediately get all the ether currents.
They did lessen. I think people said that the worst was, where was it? It was near Alamigo. It was that.
Oh, like that
area.
The Salt Flats area? I forget what it's called.
Yeah. And then they lessened it. I was very upset because I worked hard for those ether currents and no one will know the struggle.
No, it was rough out here, man. Honestly, maybe, so I want exploring to be fun, and this might sound really roundabout, but maybe adding all this extra textures on the floor, foliage, and lighting will make it more fun. I just want it to feel magical.
Yeah. I
love like zooming in the camera, right? Even going in first person sometimes and just soaking it all up. Endwalker did have zones that were cool, but like, God, Garlemald was boring. It really was. The area right before like the tower is cool. Like it was a really interesting idea. And it was one of my favorite parts of that game is when we have to swap the bodies and you have to like, you know, get to your body. Like that was so cool.
That was really cool.
You don't need to do that. You don't need to be in there anymore. It's not scary anymore. But that was a great use of exploration where, you know, we were terrified to get aggroed because we die because we're not in our actual body. I just want more instances like that because they didn't do that a lot in Endwalker. Even Elpis was kind of boring. It looked gorgeous, but like the progression through Elpis was just point A to point B, point A to point B. I think the area around Razad was so gorgeous, but there was no reason to explore. It just
other than fates,
but there was really cool areas like some of the pools where the baby got tossed in. You know?
Yeah, that area was I when I went there previously because I was exploring. I was like, this is a really cool area, and then trauma. And no longer cool area.
Yeah, but there's really interesting areas that don't even touch the MSQ, you know? And I kind of want that to be explored more to where it's not just a sightseeing log. Gosh, even the mining points, I wish they would update that to where they were a little bit more random. Because when do you have any of the gatherers leveled up?
I have all of my gatherers to 50.
Yeah, so the gathering system is really silly because you'll gather, there'll be 3 nodes right next to each other. And then when those are gone, you'll go to 3 nodes that are very close by. And then when those are gone, these ones respawn. So you're just going back, forth, back, forth. Like, let me work for it, you know? Like, I would love to have to, maybe they're I always talk about RNG, like I want more randomness. But I just want more reason to explore. Like if there's a really cool cave, put some mining points there. And I wish that the mining points, I don't know. I feel like I ask for so much. I feel so bad. I'm so sorry, Yoshi P. I love your game, like but I want so much.
I feel like a lot of the areas that are not touched by MSQ are touched by the side quests. But a lot of people, I feel like a lot of the text, it's very text heavy. So a lot of people just click through and then just go from point A to point B without really seeing where it's at. Because some of them are in like little caves that you don't ever visit.
Yeah, I think of some of the not MSQ, some of the side quests in A Realm Reborn that I really like. People kind of shit on A Realm Reborn so much. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed all this. I'm somebody who has completed every side quest. I don't know if you know that, but I've completed every side quest aside from maybe some that are like job specific or something. But if I see something on my map, I'm doing it. I think I've skipped some that are just annoying, like The Greatest Story Never Told. Do you remember that quest? That's like 2.0. So old. And
I don't remember.
It's one of the only quests in the game that doesn't have a tracker. So you have to like...
Oh, I have it. I haven't finished it because I'm like, where do I go?
Yeah, so I never finished that one because I'm lazy and I don't want to solve the riddle. But that's great world building. I love that it's there. And it's in one of the coolest areas that has a lot of lore, but we don't know a lot about. And then there's one in, I don't know, something about like finding areas that match a picture or something like that, which is clever. So there's maybe 2 quests that I've never done, but other than that, I've done every side quest. They bring you to all those areas, which is really cool. And some of them have really cool stories. Some of them are really throwaway. I love that part. That's one of my favorite parts. Like the solo aspect of 14 is so good. Like there's so much meat there, but I guess I just want, I don't know.
More.
I guess.
You want more.
I want more, but I really do. Like that's my favorite part of a new expansion is exploring. And just soaking in the music, exploring, doing side quests. I just don't want it to end there, you know? I
want to explore. I want to be there. I want it out now. Oh, did you look at the event calendar?
I did. I never actually, it's kind of cool that they put those events on the calendar because those are the 2 events I've never gotten to complete. Are you talking about Dragon Quest and the Yokai Watch?
Yokai Watch I've never done. I've heard it's very grindy.
Yeah, that's what I hear. But I am excited for the Dragon Quest. What do you even get for it?
There's a hat.
Is it like a slime hat?
The slime hat, yeah. I don't remember what else you can get. I'm hoping they add a little bit more because of the passing.
Yeah. Oh, thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I just had to, like, you know, I feel like that it seems appropriate.
Yeah, it'd be cool to get something Akira Toriyama-y. Like I always want like an armor set or something, right? But that's not always on the table. I think it's weird that we get a Dragon Quest X collab when we've never even gotten it in the States. It's kind of
that's what
strange.
I'm thinking too. I was like, why 10?
I started playing it recently. I bought the game from a Japanese account. I have a Japanese Square Enix account, and I have to like go through all these hoops to play the game. But it is a really good MMO, and I really do enjoy it. A little bit grindy, but it's so funny because it's translated by AI for all of the basic stuff. So like
Really?
shop, like NPC dialogue and stuff like that, it's translated really poorly. You can understand it, but it's not good. And then all the cutscenes were very lovingly translated by people, by a project. So the cutscenes are great. The story's fantastic, very, very charming. It's just so sad that we didn't get it out here. And the only version we might get out here is the offline version, which is a completely different art style, which is kind of a bummer. So yeah, excited to do the event because I've never done it. But that was Yoshi P's first MMO that he worked on, and he did a great job with it. So it's kind of cool. The 16 collab, the Dragon Quest X collab, like only games he's worked on. It'd be cool to get some collabs of different things, right? This is actually a cool subject. Did you hear about or read the article about Yoshi P wanting to revive Final Fantasy Tactics?
Tactics?
Yeah, he wants to helm the project to bring Tactics back.
Really?
Yeah. Now I don't know if that would happen, right? I think he was just saying it because he loves it. But imagining Yoshi P directing an Ivalice project would be really cool. And I don't know if it would be a tactics game, like a actual tactical RPG, if it would just be.
I'd like it to be.
I would like it to be too, but I would honestly, hear me out. I would love it to have like a really robust, updated version of 12's battle system, because that was still very tactical, and that was an Ivalice game as well. And having a new Final Fantasy Tactics that was maybe like a blend of the two.
I would like the blend, yeah.
Yeah, like a blend of maybe like an RTS. Like I didn't play it, but what was the new RTS we got? Diofield Chronicles.
I heard that was good.
Mm-hmm. I think something that was a little bit more active, where you had gambits where you're maybe you had an army and they kind of did their own thing, but then you also had closer encounters that were a little bit more, Final Fantasy Tactics. Just tactical RPGs they do okay, but it's just people kind of clamor for that. Oh, I want a new Final Fantasy Tactics.
But would it do well?
It wouldn't, because we are a diminishing demographic. People forget about that all the time. It is.
It's so sad.
It is. People like crying for like Chrono Trigger and stuff. Yes, I would love Chrono Trigger and it would make money, but the longer they wait, the less money it would make. People that love Chrono Trigger are my age, older, honestly. And as we move through the years and they're not working on these things, they're going to put less love in them. Like people clamoring for, oh, you want a Final Fantasy VI remake. That's not the demographic anymore. We're not they have to cater to the next generation of gaming. That's just how they're a business. That's why a lot of people, I don't agree with them, but when I meet someone younger than me and they say, oh, my favorite Final Fantasy is 13. And I'm like, what? What are you talking about? But I can't, like, that's what they connected with. I love 15, but there's people that love 15, and it's usually people that are younger than me. I have to be okay with that. So if we got a new Final Fantasy Tactics, what I think it would be is just a new Final Fantasy Ivalice game, is what I think, which would be really cool.
I would love that. Would you want it to be a mainline? Would you want it to be Final Fantasy 17 or 18?
I think so. I don't think they would give Yoshi P 17, right? He just did 16. Maybe, because in the past they would do it. If we're looking at the timeline of when Final Fantasy 16 was being worked on, it was right after Final Fantasy 15. Or it was being worked on while Final Fantasy 15 was being finished or something, right? I feel like, let me double check that. I don't want to sound like an idiot. Yeah, 16 began development in 2014, so a year before 15 came out. That's insane.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's insane. So they have this Final Fantasy 16 has been in development for 7 years. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, so 17 is already being worked on, right? Already being worked on. I don't think that it's Yoshi P's. I think that'd be a little insane, even though 1 through 10 was all Hironobu Sakaguchi, but maybe 18. I think the next MMO could be, I don't think we're going to go from the same pattern, right? We had 11, 12, 13, then 14. Original 14 doesn't really count because it failed miserably. Maybe Final Fantasy 20 is the next MMO, something crazy like that, because I think we got a lot of meat left in 14. But maybe 18 would be Ivalice. That'd be great.
I'd like that, yeah.
Who do you think's going to make 17? It's already being made. Who's making it? You don't got any like wish lists?
No, I don't have a wish list, but the first name to pop in my head.
Don't you say it.
Just to piss you off.
Tetsuya Nomura. I don't think so. Because he's been very busy.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. I think it would be really cool if we could get a Yoko Taro Final Fantasy.
I think that'd be interesting. Ever since Yoshi P said that about wanting to revive Tactics, it kind of took the wind out of my sails because I honestly thought that 17 was going to be an e-release game. That's just, I felt it in my bones. And it could be a red herring, right? It could be, what's the guy's name?
They always do that.
Yasumi Matsuno. I thought that since he did the 14 collab and stuff, I'm like, okay, maybe he's back on board to do an e-release game. But it could be Yoshi P just messing with us. I really genuinely think that it'd be great if Hironobu Sakaguchi did one. But I don't know. That's just like me. I don't know if they can like mend that bridge, but he's apparently working on his next IP.
He is.
Yeah. After saying he was retired, but he's working on something and I don't know what it is.
I mean, I feel like it seems like a trend of people who say that they're retiring, but they keep doing things like Miyazaki.
Miyazaki has retired like 5 times.
Exactly.
But I mean, Yoko Taro is probably the most realistic. I think once you beat Rebirth, we'd have a lot to talk about with Tetsuya Nomura.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
It'll be a fun conversation. On one of these episodes, I'm sure we'll dive into it. But spoiler free, I did love the game. I did. I think they did such a great job just making it feel like, I mean, you're going to trip out just going to the areas and stuff, being like, oh my God, so much love put into the game. And probably the most video game I've ever video gamed. Like, it's
really
so much in it. Yes. Like so much layers of progression, of mini games, of just really interesting that they were able to pull it off. I'm very, very surprised that it was that good. The storytelling we can talk about at another time.
Okay. All right.
But it was a fantastic game. I think huge potential for Game of the Year. Huge potential.
Interesting. Okay. I'm excited to play it.
Anybody that plays the game and doesn't have fun is insane. It's such a fun game. So, and probably the best battle system. I mean, it's Remake's battle system, really, but it just added layers and and you have more characters and it's just like, okay, this is a really good battle system. They really nailed it with the battle system. And I love 16, but it's infinitely better than 16's battle system.
Really? Okay, so I played the demo. I struggled hard with the battle system. I thought I was getting into the groove of it, but by the end, I had lost because I had switched to using Sephiroth, and then I just didn't know what to do.
Yeah, once you find the ebb and flow, honestly, I didn't really start getting good at it till the end. The more hours you put into it, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this wrong. Because bosses, it's not an easy game, at least for me. Like, bosses got really hard, and it's probably because I was just playing wrong, you know? Playing as Cloud only and hitting this button to smash it with your sword over and over again is not the way to play it. You have to, like, really bounce from character to character and be like, you know, it's a lot of fun, but it's like it has a really high skill ceiling, which I think is great.
To be fair, Remake, I didn't start understanding the battle system until I started playing hard mode, where they took items away, because I realized, oh, this is how you're supposed to actually use materia. This is how you're supposed to use your weapons. Maybe it'll be hard mode. Well, I'll learn to appreciate Rebirth. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited for you to play it. They started development in 2014. When did they announce 16? I guess I can just look it up.
They announced it when I started playing 14, because that is the reason why I picked up 14.
It was announced. No. Wait, you started playing 14 because of 16?
Yes.
Really? So 2020, you've only been playing that long?
Yeah, I started in 2020. Yeah, because people were saying that, Yoshi P is a great game dev and the stories in 14 are so good, so 16 is going to be great. And I was like, I want to see what I'm getting into. So I hopped into 14 and I was like, okay, well, I had very low expectations. I had played MMOs before. Actually, honestly, the last MMO I played was like Dragon Nest.
Okay, I knew you were going to say something goofy, like Wizard 101.
Ragnarok Online.
Yeah, they count.
Guild Wars, the first one. Yeah, those were my first. And so when I wasn't really paying attention to story. I was just like, okay. And then I had also people in chat telling me, you'll start liking it when you get to Heaven's Ward. So I felt like I was urged to get to Heaven's Ward as fast as possible. And so I wasn't really paying attention. And it wasn't until the death of a specific character that I was like, oh, I probably should have felt something there, and I didn't feel it.
Wait, which character?
Harshaphon.
Spoiler.
Like...
I feel so bad recommending 14 to people. I think it is great. You have to play through everything to enjoy it, which is insane. It was such a blessing to be able to just start from day one. And I was playing to the end of the patch since 2.0, right?
Day one?
Well, kind of day one. I did play 1.0, but I didn't play all the story of 1.0. I wasn't fully caught up on that. Yeah, I've been playing every patch since 2.0, so it's never been a grueling task. So I've really gotten to enjoy the story. Like, maybe that's why I really enjoyed A Realm Reborn, because I was waiting for the next patch, always so excited to like play the next patch. So I feel really bad for people that have to play through all these expansions to get to the new stuff. I really wish that there was, this would be really weird, but I wish that there is a story skip potion, right? And that's kind of cool. But I wish there was an option to start at the second to last expansion and like it made sense in the lore. Maybe all the scions treated your character slightly differently, but having to record all these different dialogue lines and stuff would be really obnoxious, but it would be cool.
Also, the fact that a lot of the optional raid stuff, they don't even voice act, and it's crucial to main story, but it's optional. I don't see them ever adding anything that detailed.
Even just like if they just really put out some really great recap stuff, that'd be really helpful for people that really wanted to play the new stuff, because it's so good. It's so different than the beginning of the game. I would never tell somebody to skip Heaven's Ward, but if there was a really creative way to catch somebody up so they can play the new stuff, I think the game would have an even better reputation. Instead of just buying a jump potion and just jumping right into it, you had like this recap. Like maybe every expansion has a really well done, maybe not animated, maybe it's just stills, you know, like really great art. And it's just kind of like walking you through the story of that expansion, just so people don't feel so left out. And it would help so much with Duty Finder. Every duty, I hate that every time I'm doing leveling dungeon, it's Sastasha. I hate that every time I'm doing a trial, it's something from, you know, A Realm Reborn. Always. Duty roulettes are so boring because there's millions of people stuck in A Realm Reborn.
That's fair. Well, recently I've been seeing it. I've seen a progression because of the new Xbox players. So I've been getting a lot of Heaven's Ward Stormblood. And then the past, I think, month, I started getting Shadowbringers. So like they're moving up. Yeah, they're moving up.
And the fact that the free trial goes up through Stormblood is a huge improvement. But I do think that having recaps for the people that are impatient, I think that'd be so good for people.
I think the recaps would be better than, well, I understand they had to nerf a lot of the dungeons because of duty support. Or like the, what do you call it?
Trust system.
Trust system. I think the really sad one was the was it Hraesvelgr? Yeah, instead of the, what do you call those? The little platforms
little
that
pedestals.
You have to hop. Yeah, it's now just one basic arena.
Yeah, Duty Finder hasn't put me there in years. Like some dungeons I haven't done in years because they just don't pop up in Duty Finder.
There are a few ARR dungeons that I've seen that I was like, I don't remember this. It looks so different.
Yeah, the Maw of Todorok was different. And it kind of sucks because I always liked getting the Maw because everyone would get lost and it was kind of fun. It was charming. I really hope they did talk about this. And this is why I'm having such weird deja vu, because I don't know if we talked about this in the last episode or if I heard about it somewhere else.
The difficulty? The
difficulty of how they're going to change things slightly to where they want it to be not more difficult, but more varied.
We didn't talk about it. No, we didn't talk because that was a more recent.
Was it something more recent that we heard that?
Mm-hmm.
So I think just having more varied gameplay types, I think we were really onto something, how the dungeon started in A Realm Reborn. They're great. Sastasha was great. There was these little puzzles and stuff. It's okay if new players get frustrated and leave the game because it's too hard or because it's not easy enough or there is puzzles or like, that's okay. The game doesn't have to be for everybody. I think the issue with 14, if there is an issue, because I love the game, is because it's catering to too many people at once.
That's hard.
It is hard because you want it to be for everybody. You know, dungeons it's a collaborative effort. There's 4 people in there. And I think there's a pretty good community in there. And I think if there was a little bit more variation, like there was in a Realm Reborn. Like I think of the Cutter's Cry or Aurum Vale. Like all these had like little things in there, made it challenging, made it different. And now every dungeon is a hallway. They're pretty hallways.
Yeah.
But you don't have to pick up any items anymore. You don't have to like, and it's like, come on, give me something.
I got so frustrated, going through a few of them. I'm like, oh, you don't have to do this? But that was so fun. That's what made this dungeon stand out. Now there's no flair or
But I know that I'm not the only person saying this. So I know that Yoshi P and the team hears these things. And I do want it to be accessible for everybody. I think this is one of those crazy games that really brings a lot of different demographics together. But I think we put the bar a little too low for like dungeons and stuff like that. But maybe that will change. We'll see. I mean, we're already getting different rewards for things and we have more criterion. I think the criterion dungeons is on the right track because those kind of feel like a Realm Reborn dungeons a little bit with doing different things.
They're getting better.
Paths.
Have you done any of the not variant? Did you do the criterion dungeon?
What's the easiest level?
Easiest is variant.
Yeah, I have not done criterion. Only variant.
Have you tried?
I'm too afraid.
Would you be willing to?
I'd be willing. Yeah, of course. I haven't tried. Yeah. I play so casually now when a new patch comes out and I try to stay caught up and like I said, I'll do all the side quests and stuff. I think this is always the roughest part. The space between the end of an expansion and a new expansion. It just feels so barren. There's just not,
right.
I almost don't want to log in because it's like, well, what's the point? There's a new expansion around the corner. The stuff that I've slept on most is variant dungeons. I've always done them a few times, right? But not get all the endings. And then deep dungeons.
Oh, yeah.
I've never gotten to the last level on any of them. So
I've only gotten to 50 on the first one.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
I think Heaven on High I've never even touched.
Me neither. Eureka Orthos?
I've done Orthos a few times because I was excited about it. But Heaven on High, you kind of have to do it solo now because no one wants to do this anymore.
Yeah, there's no one that wants to come with you. I want another diadem.
Well, you just learned about diadem last time we talked about this.
I would like more diadem.
Did you try it finally?
I did. I finally got in and now my inventory is... There's no space.
Yeah, welcome to the club. It's so funny because we are spoiled with so much inventory in 14 compared to other MMOs. Like they give us so much inventory, but because glamour is so important. Yeah, they do.
Okay.
Yeah. World of Warcraft, like I have maxed out bags, but it's like maybe a quarter.
Really? Okay. I'm spoiled. I'm definitely spoiled.
What World of Warcraft does is when you find an armor piece, you just have the glam automatically. You can destroy the armor. You have the glam forever. Once you collect it, you collect the glam. And I wish 14 would just do that. It would kind of take away the magic of seeking glam a little bit, but it would save inventory space exponentially. So I don't mind that it's not in 14, but I can't really ask Yoshi P to add more inventory space because he does give us a lot. And that is a lot of memory for the game. Like all of us having hundreds and hundreds of items. It's insane that he lets us be this obnoxious with it. Yeah, it's rough. Inventory is rough. But again, we have way too many slots. It's just we don't have a system to really utilize the slots as well. If you have all your jobs, your ring bag is completely full because you need 2 rings for all these different classes. It's just insane. It's so much to manage. But I mean, we got rid of belts. That's something.
I think I kept my belts. I think I still have 1 belt just to hold on to, just for the memory. Yeah.
So you were there for the great belt exodus.
I was.
One of the things I'm most excited for is the Final Fantasy XI collaboration. I'm probably one of the only old, decrepit people that is in love with 11.
No, you are not. There's a lot of people who've been coming into my chat who are just excited about 11, and I know nothing, and I feel very left out. Very left out. I'm like, do I need to sit down and watch a whole 24-hour video?
You should. I think you should. I think it's mandatory. Do it right now. No, I think you should play it. Give it a shot and play it. Maybe you'll never, do it on stream or anything, but it is very soloable now. And I will always stand by. It is probably the best Final Fantasy storytelling. It is because what's cool about 11.
Really?
Yeah. What's cool about 11 is every expansion is a really well contained story. It doesn't attach to the other ones. You're the hero, right? You're the guy that does the things, saves the realm, whatever. But each Each expansion, you're meeting new people. It's like its own threat. You can do them in any order. You should do them in release order because I think it does positively affect it a little bit. But yeah, each story is so well told, and it's a bummer that not a lot of people played them because they're some of the best music, some of the best storytelling, some of the coolest characters, some of the coolest twists. Each expansion is its own Final Fantasy. It's really good.
I'll consider it.
Well, anything else to wrap up? I know I'm trying to like think of everything we talked about, and I know like the last hour was just complete random.
we got off on so many tangents.
But it's good. I'll be okay with it. I'm crying inside having to edit it, but
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It'll be a great conversation. Well, thank you for hanging out.
Thank you.
And I'm excited to inching closer to Dawntrail.
Yes. Soon.
Until next time, Zordon.
Until next time, thank you so much.
Oh, yes.